Hello friends, welcome back. In the previous video, you have learned that how to properly define the HTML headings and what are the things that you shouldn't do while using HTML headings. And in this video, I am going to show you the practical use of HTML headings by showing an example. I am going to show you how to structure the content of your website properly by using these headings. These headings are very important to create the logical sections within your document, and you can use these headings to introduce new section within your document. So let's get started. First of all, I am going to delete everything inside this body element. So here I am going to create a web page based on foods, and this web page will introduce the foods, different categories of foods. So I can use the most important heading which introduces a new section called foods. So for that I can use the most important heading element, which is h1. So I can here write h1 tag and introduce a new section of foods by writing foods. Okay, and since it is introducing a most important section, and food set have further two categories. First one is healthy foods and second one is unhealthy foods. So I am going to define these two categories by using h2 heading element. Okay, so we can use h2 level and I can write healthy foods, and second h2 level will define unhealthy foods. So now you might have guessed that healthy and unhealthy foods also have different categories. Okay, so what we can do that here we can introduce those sections by using the further least important heading tags such as h3, h4 and so on. So I can introduce a new section for the healthy foods by writing h3. I'm going to write healthy foods called, let's write dark choco chocolate and dark chocolate. And next one, let's write for the healthy food potatoes, and let's introduce another let's introduce another heading for this, and I'm going to write lemon, etc. So here this is the most important heading which is showing the foods category, and h2 is the part of this h1 level heading which is healthy foods, and it has further subcategories. And similarly we can define the categories for these healthy foods, and this is not going to show us visually anything, but rather it is going to create the logical sections within our document, and it is very important for the screen readers and search engines to have the proper headings for each sections. So let's write the healthy foods, and it has also the h3 tag because it is the category of unhealthy foods. So write pizza, and let's write burger, and you can write chips, etc. So now you have seen that we have these kind of uh, logically structured sections within our document. So let's see how they are looking right now in our browser. So these are the section that we have defined in our HTML document by using the headings, and there are three main categories. The first category is food, and it has further two categories, healthy and unhealthy. Okay, and they further their categories. So how they are logically creating the structures. So let's see by using the document outline extension that I have installed in my Google Chrome browser. You can find this extension by searching onto the Google. So let's click on this extension, and you're gonna see the first section is the main section, which is food, and it has healthy foods and unhealthy foods, which is two subsections, and these subsections are further subsections. So now let's see what happened when we change the heading levels. For example, if I modify this H3 heading level of potatoes to H4, now it will be subcategory or subsection of this dark chocolates. Okay, so what we have done here, we have created a healthy food section, then we have created dark chocolate section for this healthy food, and now dark chocolate section has it further section potatoes, which is what we do not expect to see. So let's see what happened in our browser. Here you can see the visual change in the size of the text, but let's see what is the logical change. Here you can see that dark chocolate is a category of healthy foods, but it has also a subsection of this potatoes, which is wrong. Okay, we do not want potatoes to be section of dark chocolate. We want this is to be a standalone section of healthy foods. So this is what happened when you create undesired tags within your document. And let's see what happened when you change this dark chocolate categories to H4. Okay, so let's see that. Now you might expect that it's going to create another section, which is true, but and you will expect that these H3 and two H3 tags are the subsection of H4, but this is not true. Let's see in the browser. Here you can see that it still doesn't affected our logical content, but what is happening here, we are using H4 this H4 tag for this dark chocolate and H3 for this potatoes and lemon. Since we are using this H3 and 2H3, which are the larger headings than that of H4, that's why we are not creating any further section of H4. To create the further section of H4, we could have used H5 tags instead of H3. So let's see what happened when I change this potatoes to H5 tag. Okay, so let's go back to browser and again click here. Now you can see that dark chocolate has a category of potatoes and lemon for the for the healthy foods. Let's see what happened when I change this also to H5. So you will still see the visual change here and see the logical change. Now you can see that potatoes and lemon are the category of dark chocolate, which is again false. So what we can what we learned here, that we shouldn't skip any headings tag, or we shouldn't use these headings to create larger text or make our text bolder. We can use CSS to control the size of text and make them bold or italic or so on. Okay, so friends, you can also write text about these sections. For example, I can write a paragraph about foods, and I can also introduce paragraphs for these section like this. I can write here healthy foods, and I can also write the text introduction for these unhealthy food sections introduced here. So this is how you should use HTML headings. You are not going to see any effect to the logical content of our document, but you can see the visual changes here. Okay, so this is how we should use practically and properly our heading tags to structure the content of our web pages. Okay, so this video might be longer than usual, but I hope you have understand how to use the headings properly. If you have any suggestion, questions, or any confusions about HTML headings, you can ask direct in the comment section and I will respond as soon as possible. Thank you for watching this video. Bye bye, take care.